What would it take? What would it take for you to take this car off the lot today? What would it take for you to drop out of this race right now?
How can I?
Guys, let me give you a couple alternatives. Let's say, for instance, that McGinnis says, you know what, I can't win, and somebody else pops up that maybe you find palatable, because McGinnis is not going to sit back and drop out while you're in the race, is my guess. What would it take?
Why not?
You don't think he would drop out and say, let the American Constitution guy do it?
Well, what does he care as long as he's out and not having to worry about that problem? And frankly,
so you think there's an opportunity for him to still drop out?
Well, yeah, I think right after the primary, people still will go to him. Maybe before the primary, they'll go to him. I don't know, but I'm just suggesting that the Republicans would have an interesting choice to make at that point in time. That is, do they want to put somebody in and split the vote or not? I mean, at that point in time, they're putting the third party in. If those guys drop out, or one of them drops out, the one that wins it drops out, so then they're splitting the vote. Let me run. Go ahead, support. You don't have to nominate me, because I don't think you can even do that.
Well,
but you can.
So you're saying that if McGinnis were to drop out, your hope is that the Republican Party doesn't fill that vacancy,
right? Or
perhaps fills it with you, and maybe you'll switch back out of the.
Well, I can't.
I don't know if you can.
You can't do that. You can't. No. They'd have to do it, or put somebody like you in a straw man.
So I'd kick your ass. And I want to make it really clear. I'd kick your ass.
I'm not talking about what would happen out here in the alley. I'm talking about in politics.
All right.
But what? No, John.
I
mean, I know it's far-fetched, right. And Dick would say absolutely not. I'm just saying, do you want to win or not? Do you think I'm going to govern as a Democrat? Wrong. I'm going to govern as a good conservative. So you guys should look at it that way.
What would it take for you to be the man to drop out? What if there was polling? What if there was polling that said McGinnis can win on a two-way race? So on August 11th, there's a poll that comes out, a reputable poll that says, this is a tied race, even leaning towards McGinnis. Would you drop out at that point?
I don't think I could.
Why?
Well, by that time, you've collected a lot of money. Well, at least, hopefully, collected a lot of money.
You could.
And you say...
There are lots of places to put good money.
Yeah,
there are a lot of candidates who need it.
Right. You tell all those people that gave you money, look, just kidding. It's tough, John. That's a tough one, buddy.
Well,
and I don't want to.
Let me
no,
push
I'm
it again.
not going to establish any criteria that they will go out and pay some pollster $1 million for.
What if? I'm putting out the cards.
What if? How about if we never answer a hypothetical? Haven't you ever heard this?
All right, here's a hypothetical. You don't have to answer.
Okay.
Let's say that McGinnis is willing to drop out. Somebody like Hank Brown is willing to get in, who the polling shows would be able to really give it a run in a two-way race. Would you then consider it?
How can I say yes to that, John? It's impossible at this point in time. I was very willing to do exactly that up until Monday.
It's only 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, well, you know how much, John, you cannot imagine how much goes into getting this thing together and how much we've already done. And I mean, I owe something to the Constitution Party. They would be without a candidate at that point in time.
But they filled a vacancy with you. They can fill the vacancy with somebody else.
I'm not even sure if you can. I don't know what the rules are for that.
Don't you worry. We'll
take care of it.
And what if the big guy comes in and says, I'm going to make a donation to the Constitution Party to reimburse everything that Tancredo raised?
Sure. Well, and I want him to make a heck of a lot bigger one.
Will you leave it open as a possibility? Is it a possibility that if these stars align?
I can't say that, John.
You can't say
that. No, I can't say that. You know it, buddy. You know it. But you're good.
I'm very good.
You are good.
All right, let's talk about money. You need to go out and raise a lot of money. Here's you've seen my wallet before. How are you going to get enough money? Hickenlooper has $2 million in the bank. McGinnis has about $2 million plus in the bank. What is Tom Tancredo going to have by the end of the primary? He ain't going to have $2 million, is he?
I don't know. I think we'll have at least $1 million because, John, I have a really, really good list.
Really good
list. Yeah. We have 20 to 25,000 contributors to the last race, to the presidential race. we will, this race.
And how much did you raise in the presidential race?
We raised about $4 million, I think, and then matching funds. It was $3 or $4 million that we raised on our own.
Really?
And we were only in it for, 6 months, something like that.
So you're just running for the money. This is you're like a traveling salesman. You got to go to state and start a race. And
Do we have still that stupid rule here that you can't take any of the?
Yeah, you just pay yourself mileage. That's the way that works. It's not a big deal.
I got my car outside on blocks. The wheels are turning.
So you're telling me the money is going to be there?
I think so.
You get the money to get on television to do this?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that you're going to be able to raise?
Now, that would be the biggest problem. If you want to start talking about ifs and hypotheticals, if we couldn't raise money, then we're in a world of hurt, and I know that. But I think we'll be okay. I mean, the website went up at something like 2 o'clock today, and I've forgotten, but there's already quite a few people have donated. So.
I'm not talking about little old ladies giving $5. You're going to need real cash.
Well, and the problem is you can only raise, $525 per person for the thing. So.
What about the machinery around the election? In other words, you know what the left did here with CODA, the Colorado Democracy Alliance.
God.
You know that there needs to be 527 groups and other C4 groups. There needs to be all these other guys who are throwing tomatoes at your opponents so that you don't have to. There has to be no coordination between you and any 527 that is working on your behalf. Are you going to have all that
Start
stuff?
working, somebody out there. Don't coordinate with me, but start working.
I mean, but that's part of the new politics, particularly here in Colorado. Somebody's got to be running those nasty attack ads, and you're not, so while McGinnis has $2 million or whatever, you know that there's another $2 million in his effort in different directions.
You think so?
I think so. I think there's got to be.
Still?
Really?
You believe the RGA is going to put a lot of money into this? You believe any other 527s are going to put a lot of money into this? They see it the same way we do, John. They are not, or maybe I should say I do. You're still, yeah, those are rose-colored contact lenses you've got.
No, you've heard me talk about Caldara's political axiom number 1. There is nothing Republicans can't F up, and I'm worried that's exactly what happened here.
Well, believe me, I am worried about that too, and I think they did. I absolutely agree. I think they did. I'm offering an alternative, bud.
And lay some odds on this for me.
It will not be easy. This is not going to be an easy thing. And I will do everything I can because it is what I believe I should do. This is not an ego trip for me. I assure you, there are other ways I could have entered into this fray if I wanted that. There's plenty of things I can do and say and get all kinds of press about. That's not it. I took my family out to dinner the other day, and I said, went out to White Fence Farms, they had the kids with us and everything. He said, you remember how bad it was, guys, when I ran for Congress? It's going to be worse
now. So, all right, I'll be expecting the call when you're looking for that lieutenant governor slot. Don't give me those looks. Tom, thank you.
We heard it here.
Thank you. Tell a friend about the Devil's Advocate. We'll see you next week.